Like when I first started hearing about journaling, I was like, all right, what is going on, guys? So today I'm going to talk about something that I've talked about quite a lot in the past. Basically, that is journaling. And so like when I first started hearing about journaling, I was like, nah, I'm not going to do journaling. Journaling is lame. It's weird. It's just not for me. Maybe it works for everybody else, but it's just not for me. I'm not really good at writing. I don't really like it. I don't even really like reading. So it's just like I'm going to avoid journaling altogether, and maybe something else will be better for me. But at the end of the day, what I did realize was journaling can be extremely beneficial. And so basically I'm going to talk about like why it's going to be beneficial and how you can actually just like start doing it today. The benefits of it are pretty obvious. It's gonna make you better at writing. It's gonna make you better at reading if you're rereading these things as well. It's gonna help you organize your own thoughts. It's gonna make you be more reflective of your own thoughts. It's going to help you out with goal setting. In my personal opinion, it's just going to relieve stress and relieve anxiety. If you want to hit your goals better and then get better at reading and writing and then probably be a little bit more self-reflective, have less stress and less anxiety, then this is probably something for you. The reasons why it's going to be beneficial for you, especially like if you're doing it in the beginning of the day, then it's going to help you out with like setting kind of your goals for the day and what you want to achieve, and then basically you can kind of use that as a positive reinforcement for yourself. If you're doing it at the end of the day, then you could be a little bit more reflective and then talk about, perhaps what you did during the day and then how that impacted you and then what you'd like to do tomorrow, those types of things. Whether you want to do it in the beginning or the end of the day, it's really completely up to you. Honestly, what I do is whatever's most convenient. So if I don't do it in the morning, then I'll try and do it at night. If I don't do it the night before, then I'll try and do it the morning of, right? So what you want to start doing is get a book. And then in that book, you're going to write things down every day. There's no real framework for what I do in my book because sometimes I'm just writing down quotes that I hear during the day that I like, conversations I've had with people. Sometimes I'm writing down something about something that's really bothering me during the day, but basically the framework is really, really loose. I started off by basically just writing down the day's date and then the first things that come to my head, whether that be how pissed off I am, how anxious I am, how happy I am, how excited I am, no matter what. No matter how I'm feeling, I try and write it down. If you're doing this with the intentions of reducing your anxiety or reducing your depression or anything like that, then what I would suggest is kind of writing down like maybe a percentage base or a score out of 10 on how you feel that day, right? So like out of 10, I feel 70% anxious today, or 80% anxious would be a pretty bad day. But sometimes it's going to be like, hey, I just got a little weird pit in my stomach. I'm feeling like a 2 out of 10 today. I've got a little bit of anxiety, right? Just for an example, you want to rate like your anxiety or your depression, if that's something you're working on or something that you're working on, out of 10, so you can kind of track it measurably. I don't really do this anymore just because I'm not really dealing with that as much predominantly in my life anymore. So what I'm trying to do basically now is use it to keep me accountable for goal setting, but also be reflective on the things that stress me out during the day, just so I can kind of handle stressful situations better in the future. At the end of every single journal entry, short and sweet, I basically just write down, I will be successful and happy. And then I sign my name underneath it, and then that's something I do every day. So that's something called positive affirmations. It's something that I would recommend. There's no real science behind proving, yes, this works. That being said, I am definitely a believer of, the law of attraction, what you think you become, those types of things. So I like to use some positive reinforcement for myself like that and just writing down like, hey, I'm going to be successful and happy, because I don't really care what makes me successful and happy as long as I have that. But you understand basically like the framework of how to start journaling now, right? So essentially, you're going to do these things, just to summarize, you're going to do these things to reduce stress, set goals better, maybe reduce anxiety or reduce depression or whatever you want to do, work on, whether it's like develop a new skill or similar to mine when I started was reduce anxiety a lot, right? So the ways you're going to start doing that basically is you're going to get a book, any book, it doesn't really matter whatsoever. Some people do it in their phones, but I recommend just pen and paper, old school style, and just write down essentially how you're feeling, maybe something that you could work on, something that you're really proud of, those types of things. Right? Make sure you reflect on it. Make sure you understand, because rereading it is going to help you out a lot after as well. So rereading it as well is going to help you out. Throw in a positive affirmation at the end, and then pretty much good to go, as long as you're trying your very best to keep consistency. Consistency is the main part of it, and it's going to be hard. There's going to be days where you basically do it for like 3-4 days in a row, and then you miss a couple days, and then you do it again for a few days, and then you miss a couple days. Maybe you miss a whole week, and then you just go back and do it one day, and then you miss another 2 weeks. But at the end of the day, what you want to do is get it done as consistently as possible, and that's pretty much going to help you out a lot more. It's a lot easier to do it, just not beating yourself up, not getting upset with yourself when you miss days. Just get it done as frequently as you can, and start reaping the benefits now. If you have any questions or suggestions or anything like that, throw them in the comment section below. But other than that, go and have a good day, guys. Go and kill it.